Well, hi everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. The theme for today is New Year's Eve and slash New Year's, and we're just going to chat about these recipes that we've made together in our collaborations and what inspired them and the relationships that we formed through coming up with these together and just getting to know each other more. So we can go ahead and get started. So we're starting with the Lazy Girls New Year's Eve. So that is the collaboration between Vic and myself. So Bill, do you want to share your screen and pull up that post?
Yeah, let me navigate to it first.
Sounds
Wait a
good.
second. I think I opened the wrong tab on one, so let me I have two
Well,
of I have two of the same tab. That's not very helpful. I was like, cool, I have both open. No, I don't. All right.
well, the inspiration behind this menu, and Vic, I would love, feel free to chime in or say whatever you want, but we know that by this time in the year, people are just kind of tired of spending a lot of time in the kitchen to host and putting a lot of time into the dishes that they make. And so we really wanted to come up with a menu that was just easy. Like all of these dishes require few ingredients, are really easy to make, come together quickly. For the lazy girl, if you will, or the tired girl. Maybe that's more accurate.
Or both. Basically me. I the only thing to add, yeah, like just to bounce off what Pooja's been saying, like I find for the holidays, I don't know how you guys feel, but I come from an Italian Greek household, so food really, really is the most important thing, especially when it comes to holidays. And we put so much importance on like Christmas and just like the 24th and the 25th that like by the time New Year's rolls around, we're just extra lazy. I don't know, my family is just always lounging around on the couch. We don't even do anything fun. We just like open those like $5 firecrackers and watch the ball drop. So these are some ideas to like help spark like inspiration that are super quick. And if you're hosting, I think it's a fun little thing to try.
My kind of New Year's.
Same.
Exactly. So we each came up with 3 dishes. And we can just start from the top.
Sure.
Okay, so I've never done this before. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just present my dish?
Yeah, just tell us about like
I'm like on MasterChef.
Exactly.
Freestyle.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going off no script. Okay, welcome. So yeah, so we came up with our own different types of recipes. They're all basically like appetizer desserts. I tried really hard to go the savory route, but like Pooja knows, like I had some ideas, but I'm a sweet girl, so I figured to start with a like kind of really easy dessert. So these are my mini lemon meringue pies. Lemon meringue is like my dad's favorite pie, so it's kind of what inspired it. And the fact that this recipe is pretty much done for you. It's frozen tarts that you just have to bake and literally follow the label. And then the filling is just like Edie Smith lemon pie filling. And the only thing that you really have to make is the meringue, which is essentially just egg whites, like with, turbo speed and takes like 10 minutes to make. So yeah, that's my little easy dessert hack. And people like are apparently impressed by it.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I think it's just like the little like the toastiness of the egg whites.
And I love the sparkler in the photo too.
Thank you. I burnt my backdrop for this. I didn't think it through. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna light this on fire and then oh man.
I think they're adorable.
Thank you.
Now you have a spot to put your plate in every future photos, right?
Exactly.
I was listening to a food podcast the other day talking about party planning, and the participant came on the podcast and said that their dilemma, like everyone's dilemma, is when you host, you end up spending so much effort in the kitchen and not as much time mingling with your guests and talking to them, which is sort of why you do it. And I think I think a recipe in this spirit that relies on some prepared ingredients, like you said, it takes like 10 minutes to pull together. Like that's a really helpful one to have. Maybe you're doing New Year's in, which a lot of people do, but if you're having a little party, which I think is what this meal plan is about, a recipe like this can be very helpful to expedite your efforts and make sure you're not stressing over foods at 10, 11 o'clock, before the ball's dropping, you're still making stuff in the kitchen. There's no sense in doing that.
You know what you could even do is have a little tart party, like as part of your evening, and just have everyone fill their own and,
Mhm.
Tart
Just-
bar.
Yeah, that's true. It could be like an interactive activity.
Yeah,
Here,
I
guys, make my dessert.
yeah, I love getting people comfortable with being, in the kitchen. So I just think something like this is super cute. Super.
Mhm.
And you also don't need any like fancy material either. Just like bake the tarts. I use an ice cream scoop just to measure out the filling, and
Yeah,
really it's stuff that everybody should kind of have in the kitchen. So I think that's a cool thing
exactly. And then
too.
they end up with this beautiful thing and they're like, look what I did.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Vic,
love
that picture, the presentation is just stunning. I mean,
Oh,
it was worth
thank you.
burning the board for.
I think so. I think so.
Gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
Very Speaking of beautiful photos, Pooja, do you
Yeah.
want to tell us about this one?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so this is a cranberry elderflower mocktail. We don't really drink much in our house. Our alcohol is mostly for guests. And I just thought a lot of times around New Year's, we're so focused on cocktails that I thought it would be fun to put together a fun mocktail for people who aren't drinking, but still want something fun and fizzy to drink to celebrate New Year's. This is actually inspired by a drink that we had in college that was 3 alcoholic ingredients. It was citrus vodka, Saint Germain, and champagne. And I was like, how do I turn that into a mocktail? So that was a little challenging, and obviously it's not the exact same, but it still has a lot of those notes. Like the elderflower syrup kind of gives it that floral sweet hint. Cranberry juice gives it a little bit of tartness to it. And then I use lemon LaCroix. You could use any sparkling water that you wanted. And they're just really easy to make and delicious. And one of my best friends tried it earlier this week, and she said that like it's a great mocktail because it still gives you that like mouth feel that alcohol gives you. Like it's just pleasant and tingling, but obviously it's non-alcoholic.
It
I
looks
love
really
that.
pretty too. It looks very fancy. I think the whole thing is like, it looks like we tried like really hard, but we did it because we're
Yeah.
queens.
Exactly.
So pretty too.
Yeah, it's
the-
beautiful.
The syrup, Pooja, like I'm not familiar with that. Is that something you can just find like at the grocery store? I've never looked for it, so I don't even know.
I ordered it on Amazon. And so I just kind of Googled. I was like, I wonder if elderflower syrup is a thing. Because the original cocktail had Saint Germain, which is an elderflower liqueur. And
Oh,
yeah, I found one on Amazon that had ingredients that I recognized and ordered it, and it's great. And I found myself like just adding it a little bit to sparkling water, and it's been delicious.
So is it like elderberry? Are they related?
I don't, it's not the same as elderberry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't
It's
put
like-
no cough syrup in this one.
Yeah.
No. That would be, although some of them are so sweet, you think you probably could, but
Yeah,
Right.
true.
but yeah, I didn't know if the berries are part of this, the flower, but
Oh, I don't know, actually. That's a good question. But I know that elderflower has a very different flavor profile. It's a lot more, it's like light and floral,
okay.
as opposed to cough syrupy.
Yeah,
Michelle, they do come from the same plant. I just
they
Googled it.
do. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Well, so it's an immune booster too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Call us
Super
healthy.
Oh, I think that's so fun. I love learning stuff like this. This is awesome. So
Me
I'll have
too.
to check it out. It's beautiful.
Very cool. I would
do-
probably make that with
Yeah.
bitter lemon to like really punch up the lemon flavor in that.
Ooh.
That would be
The,
so good. Yeah.
the elderflower syrup that I used actually has lemon in it too. And
Oh.
so it kind of makes it even more like, it's not too tart, it's just a little bit, but yeah. but I
Right.
like the idea of adding bitter lemon to it.
Mhm.
That was a really pretty drink. Very nice. High five, team.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is the savory thing that I tried. Very low effort again, but I think it's cute. It looks like little tarts, but it's not. So these are my easy artichoke and cheese bites. You really don't need that many ingredients, and to be very honest, you don't even have to like replicate the recipe that I've put below. You could really just use whatever the heck cheese you have in your fridge. And I'm saying this because I had a bunch of leftover like egg roll wrappers from this
Yeah.
recipe. So I just started like shoving random things in them. Tastes great every time. So this is a great like leftover panic appetizer. Um just for you guys to know. So yeah, so it's not that many ingredients. Everything can be mixed in one bowl, and I just literally again took like pre-made I think it was egg roll, yeah.
Mhm.
Right, yeah, egg roll wrappers, because I also bought like the wonton wrappers, so I get confused. And you put them inside muffin tins, which is probably a trick that everybody knows. Spray them if you want like extra crispiness on the edge with some like cooking oil, and you just bake them. So you just close the door and hope for the best. So that's why that's what I love about it. And they're super ooey gooey. So, you know, cheese pull action in full force here. And I think it's cute if you put them on a little tray. Display makes all the difference. So that was this adventure.
I
Very
love the texture contrast between like the crispy egg roll wrapper versus the creamy inside. Like I'm a big texture person, so I bet that would be really fun to eat.
Me too.
Exactly.
You
It's
gotta
not
have
like
crunch.
mushy.
I love the
Mhm.
crunch with the.
Yeah, what I was doing was actually pulling apart the edges and like dipping it. So guys, it's a dip as
Mm.
well.
Oh, yum.
Just depends how you eat it.
A win, a win, win-win.
Yeah.
Very cool, Vic. Very cool.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. All right, next we have these easy salad cups. I was thinking about how to make salad just kind of more portable, where like people can just kind of grab a cup at a party and a fork, and instead of
Oh.
croutons, making these cute little Parmesan crisps. And so you just like, they take literally 5 minutes in the oven, and while those are going, you make the dressing, and so it all comes together in 10 minutes. And you make the dressing in the same bowl that you put the greens in, so very few dishes, which we love. And the Parmesan crisp, you just kind of lay it on top so it doesn't get soggy. And I used romaine and kale in this salad. I think kale is a great green to use because you can make that ahead of time and it won't get soggy, but you can really use any greens that you want in this. It's so delicious. My husband is not a huge salad person, but he loved this salad as well. And it's fun to eat because you like use your fork to break that little Parmesan crisp at the top and eat it with the salad. So that was just, yeah. And I made this using things I had at home. Like I didn't really need to buy anything special to make it. The dressing is simple. So that's what we're about, is like using things that you already have.
I love that it's individual servings. I absolutely love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and no like messes, right? Like people don't need to serve their own, like
Yeah.
you don't need plates for any of these. You can just grab one.
Yeah, less germs.
Yeah, exactly.
I
And
love this idea. I think I'm gonna try and do this for my meal prep, just like for myself and my husband, just to get in more greens, like for the week, right?
Yeah.
Do you know,
totally.
like if
Good
it
idea.
stays okay we tried like refrigerating it, and does it stay okay for a few days?
If you use kale, I think kale will help soak up some of that. So kale will stay good for a couple of days or for a few days. Romaine would probably get soggy. And for the Parmesan crisp, I would leave it at room temperature on the side and then add it on whenever you're going to eat it.
Mhm.
Sense.
I also
will
like
try
how
it
it's
out.
interactive. Like you guys can like, if you're serving this at a party, you just toss everybody a fork and say, okay, let's break into the cheese. Like it's so fun.
Very
And what a way to
Nigella.
get kale into people's diets, because some people are so off put by kale, but I think
Mhm.
with cheese,
Exactly. Cheese and like the lemon, the acidity from the lemon and
Yeah.
the cheese like counteract that bitterness of the kale. So
Yeah.
Very
Very
cool.
Like self-massaging by sitting in the refrigerator
Right.
again.
Yeah,
Hmm.
super.
All right, I forgot about these ones. Oopsies. Okay, this was an interesting, I have to tell everybody the backstory. So this was not my original plan, but I'm actually happy with the turnout. So again, it's a very easy, everybody can do it type of recipe. And obviously, if you don't understand the theme of me right now, the dough is pre-made. So it's the pre-made crescent rolls that you can get at like Walmart for like $2. Minimal ingredients. I think this one, out of the 3 recipes that I did, has like the least of them. So wait, I actually forgot. Oh yes, this idea was supposed to be like Pooja and I were going back and forth. I'm like, I think I'm gonna do like a cranberry cheesy bite, but I didn't know like how to make it different from the artichoke bites because I didn't want to use the same vessel of like the method of like the muffin tin. I was trying to like be impressive here. I'm like, if we're serving this to people, they're gonna be like, okay, we get it. You can use a muffin tin. So I changed the idea completely. And I was like, you know what, we're gonna do something sweet. These are just like a fun way to end, I guess, your meal. Again, they're super quick, take like no time in the oven. You can also make them ahead and just stick them in the freezer and do your last minute, like I guess garnishing or decorating on top. I just put like icing sugar, powdered sugar. And I melted like a bit of like dulce de leche and just, or caramel, forget. And I made it look cute on a plate. And it's filled with cream cheese and cranberry, which is also done for you.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
this is a great way to get kids involved too, because it's so easy for
Yeah.
them to do.
exactly. I thought about my little cousins, like they would so, like, this is so easy for them to make. So yeah.
It's almost like a cheese board wrapped in a croissant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to make it different. Like, I'm like, I definitely know I want to use cheese and cranberry, but I didn't know how to. But I never saw it in a croissant, sorry, all French, a crescent before. The Montreal in me is showing, but anyways,
I say it that way too.
yay.
Mom is French.
I was writing the recipe, I'm like, crescent, no way, crescent.
Croissant.
Yeah,
Yum.
Say it differently, like croissant or something like that. Pretty bad, actually.
All right, the final recipe on our list, which admittedly is a difficult one to photograph. I was texting Haley about this, Haley L about this, and I was like, how do you photograph brownies without them looking just like poo logs? I don't know. But these are basically growing up, my best friend and I used to make these brownies all the time, and it's really simple. And you literally need 2 ingredients, brownie batter and a bag of the Andes mint baking chips. And you add half of the bag into the batter and you bake the brownies, and then you pour the other half on top as soon as they come out of the oven and let them melt and spread them around and let them cool. And like, that's it. And they're like, they taste like Andes mint brownies, but it's not like, doesn't taste like toothpaste, you know? And who doesn't have fond memories of Andes mints, especially like leaving Olive Garden growing up?
I was just gonna say, David used to keep going back in to get more.
Yeah, exactly. Or they just bring you like a pile of them.
These are
So-
dangerous. These are dangerous.
They are.
They look
They're
it.
so
Oh my God,
delicious,
I'm so
though.
making those. I have brownie mix on the counter and now I got to get the Andes.
Uh-oh.
And you can get them at like Walmart or Target. They're really easy to find just where the chocolate chips are. But it's super simple. And I remember I made them in college for like a bake sale or something, and somebody tried one and they were like, this is the best thing I have ever eaten. And I was like, it took no effort.
Chocolate and mint. I mean, say no more.
Exactly. Such a classic combo.
Yeah.
But this is another perfect, like, lazy, if you're going to a potluck, if you're hosting and you want to bring something that you know people will like, but you don't have a lot of time on your hands or energy, this is a great one to make because people will love it. It's a crowd pleaser every time, but it takes so little effort on your part. So
No, Drew's got a potluck next week for work. I'm gonna make these because I have some of Jen's, I have Jen's brownie mix, so
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
done.
the legit brownie mix is so key. We have it in our pantry too. And I love that, like, that is the predictable texture, like every single time you make it.
Mhm.
Her products are just so good. And this is like, as long as you just go and scout out the Andes like baking chips, like you're good. Like you
Yeah.
can make this, the day ahead, the morning of. It's a no
Yeah.
stress addition.
Exactly.
If
You
you
can
can't
freeze
find the
leftovers.
If you
Yeah.
can't find the chips, you could just buy a bunch of Andes mints and chop them up too, if you can't find the bag.
Mhm.
of-
Good point. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you have a few extra.
And I have the legit brownie mix as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Very
you're
nice.
just a trip
And-
to the store away.
If you can't find or have allergies or can't find Annie's Mints, Hughes chocolate. They have the mint chocolate
Right.
gems
Oh,
that
yeah.
are super good that work. I have
Yeah.
them stashed in my fridge right now. That's why I'm thinking of that.
Yep.
That's a great point. That would be a great substitution in here too.
Yeah.
So cool.
Very nice.
This menu is beautiful, and I love, I mean, every time we do one of these collab presentations, I love hearing what everyone thought, how everyone approached their recipes. And this is just such a thoughtful approach. You call it Lazy Girls New Year's Eve, but like it just should be like clever girls or clever persons. It's like it's so smart, and I love the thought that went into it.
A chillaxing New Year's Eve, just chill.
Yeah,
Yes.
stress-free, honestly. Nobody needs wrinkles.
Yeah.
Like, let's
I love the name. I
Whatever.
think I missed the initial part of it, so I didn't see the name, but I
Oh.
love it.
thank you. I'm
Conceptually,
proud of us.
perfect.
High five.
Me too. I
Yes.
think we did a great job, and it was so fun to like put our heads together and come up with a theme and a menu together.
Yeah, every day, like, well, not every day, but like every week, I'm like, is this stupid? Oh, wait, I did this. Oh, wait, I didn't do this. It was really fun.
What do you both do for New Year's in real life besides baking cool recipes?
Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing this year, but every other year has literally just been either at my aunt's house or at our house, just our family. Like I said, we buy those boxes of those like cheap firecrackers, watch the ball drop and go woo and just eat. That's really it. Like I haven't done anything crazy.
For us last year, we went on a trip to Eureka Springs, which is like a 4.5 hour drive from here, and it's in the mountains, and it's very like a quaint little town. It's like very romantic, and we stayed at this cabin there. And on our last evening there, it was January 2nd, is when Rajiv proposed to me. And so this year we found out that cabin was available, and so we're going to go back and spend the weekend there and just kind of celebrate our anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah, I love
That's
like
so cute.
intimate New Year's Eve, so like just kind of either family or close friends, and just kind of reflect on the year before and just plan what's ahead. And yeah,
Love it.
Yep.
Well done. Great menu.
Okay, so Lisa, I guess, is still tied up at work.
I'm here.
Oh, hey, Lisa.
Hi.
Good timing. Good timing.
Yeah.
Okay, so good. I see there is a little write-up there because I saw the write-up and I'm like, oops, I think I forgot to do a write-up. Okay, so Lisa and I, we went round and round trying to decide. At first, we thought it would be really super fun to do charcuterie boards, like for two. And then we were trying to figure out, well, how to get all those recipes up on Food Social for charcuterie. So we just decided to go with a couple of appetizers each that had a little, meaning behind them and that we really liked. And I started the one that I made, the everything but the bagel, cream cheese and lox log, being Whole30 for almost 5 years now, and being really careful with my diet. I've learned to be really creative. And this recipe really means a lot to me because it brings me back to my childhood. Growing up, our Christmas tradition on Christmas morning was to have a big spread of lox and bagels and cream cheese and all the trimmings. And I missed it terribly being Whole30. I even came up with a lettuce bun and was smearing Kite Hill on lettuce with lox and onions and all that. And then I thought this might be fun for a New Year's thing, to do this little cream cheese log. And now that we have everything but the bagel seasoning, it's like amazing on everything. This literally took not even 10 minutes to put together. It was incredibly easy and everybody scoffed it up. It is so good and tastes like the real thing that I don't even miss the bagel. With Simple Mills crackers now, you can really enjoy that little bit of crunch that you would get from like a crispy toasted bagel. And yeah, so that's where I came with this. And if you make it, I highly suggest that you not leave off those capers because that was the icing on the cake.
Also, I really want to make this now.
So easy.
It looks delicious. And I love capers too.
Me
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
really do.
They really made it. Okay, you're up, Lisa.
Right. Well, I don't really have the same type of backstory, but it's still something that's close to my heart at the same time. So I first of all, trying to name these, I really didn't know what to call these things. I guess I called them savory hand pies just because I was kind of Googling to figure out what these things even would be called. Or I guess if you kind of call them like an Italian term, because I'm Italian, it's a panzerotti because a calzone is like with tomato sauce. This doesn't really have it, so that's what it is. But basically, it's just a recipe that I remember eating like growing up. My grandmother used to always make these during Christmas time. And it's funny because like us being like little kids, we would just call them like pizza pockets, but they're not even close. So this is basically what it was. But the traditional way of doing this is with a homemade dough, and you fill it with like sausage meat that you break up, and then you put some olives and rapini. I don't know if that's like an English term also, right? Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't really sure, but I basically altered it to make it vegan. So I used like a veggie crown inside instead. And I put spinach just because I'm not really a big fan of like the bitterness, but you could do whatever you want. And I put olives as well because it really gives it such a nice flavor. And the method of this looks really overwhelming and intimidating and complicated, but it's very simple. And you could definitely use like a pre-made dough. It doesn't have to be homemade, but I like overcomplicating things. That's just how I am. Like I'll always make the complicated version of everything. So that's really what I did. And with the homemade dough, it's just like, it took me back to making it. So I really like doing like homemade dough and all that. So it really, really tasted exactly how my grandmother used to make it. So needless to say, they were gone in the house after like 2 days. So I couldn't even have more than one. They were polished.
Oh, so that's why I never got one
Yeah,
at my
that's
doorstep.
Otherwise, they would have been on your doorstep, but yeah, they
For
didn't
those
make
of you
it.
that don't know, we're actually neighbors, so that's why I'm just I'm like,
Yeah.
what did you make today?
That's it. They didn't make it. Like my sister came over and she was like, "These are good," and she took like 3, 4 of them. I'm like, "Can you relax?" Like they were
No.
gone. So yeah,
There's something so special about recreating a dish from your childhood and somehow it tasting the exact same. Like that's just like an itch that is so hard to scratch. That when
Yeah,
you do
especially
it's
that-
so satisfying.
yeah. Like it wasn't even real sausage meat too. So I was, oh, sorry about that. Especially that it wasn't even real meat. You know, it was just something that, like, I almost cried honestly when I took a bite out of it because it's like 10 years that she's not here anymore. So it was just really something that like took me back to like what she used to make, and I'm definitely making these for Christmas again because they were really good.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you
Right.
for sharing that with us.
yeah.
And that Abbott's Butcher, their products are awesome.
Oh,
So-
yeah. I made a recipe with that and David said, well, how can you say there's chicken in this? I said, there isn't.
Yes.
Amazing how food has that power to sort of take
Yeah.
somewhere else, like
Yeah.
just like that.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's kind of the beauty of it. I love that. I love the recipes that are passed down. It's
So
just-
your sense of smell is in your brain. It is right next to like that memory center.
wow.
And so that's why smells often are so nostalgic to us, because in your brain they're like right next to each other. And that, of course, like olfactory goes along with taste. And so that's why like often you'll taste something or smell something and it just like unlocks a memory. And that's also why it's so like the taste and smells can be so emotional for us as well.
Wow. Well, that
Wow.
makes so much sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this recipe, in my opinion, I feel artichoke hearts are underrated. They're always mixed into salads or beaten up into a dip or stirred into a chicken and sauce dish with other vegetables. And for anybody that loves them, I just wanted to create a recipe that made them shine on their own. And that's where the background came from this recipe. And I got to be honest with you, even though they're done in the air fryer, half of them don't make it to the air fryer. We're eating them before they even get crisped up in the air fryer because they're that good and they're so ridiculously easy that I don't even know what to say about it. You empty your artichoke hearts and pat them dry and mix up the sauce in the blender, roll it in it and throw them in the air fryer. I use nut crumbs. You don't have to use nut crumbs. You can use like Italian breadcrumbs. Any breadcrumbs that you like or you prefer for whatever diet genre you're in. But yeah, just super easy and super good. And I highly recommend you double or triple the batch, because if you want some to get to a plate, good luck.
I think
Well,
this
I
is so
love
creative.
artichoke.
I've
Mhm.
never seen this before. I don't know if anyone else, am I like the only one? I've
You know, I
actually never
told
seen
Penny
it.
that I'm making these. Like I am making these for Christmas. They look
They're
so
so
good.
pretty. I love artichokes, so
Yeah.
this is a good
Same.
one.
Yeah, it's like I said, super easy. And they really get nice and crispy and maintain the soft, artichoke heart that everybody loves. And I leave a little of the sauce on the side for dipping, the sun-dried tomato sauce. So it's just really good.
And right along with that, like that texture contrast of the crispy outside and the soft inside, I bet they're so fun to eat.
Yep.
I'm adding this to my list. I have a list to shop for. I'm just next.
Okay, so this is something that I randomly whipped up together one day and I was like, why have I not done this before? So it's basically guacamole and hummus mixed together and it's like the best thing ever. It takes like 10 minutes to make. It'll probably be finished in like 5 minutes because at the rate that we did this with my family, like it's amazing. It's so creamy, like the texture of the avocado with the chickpeas, like it's chef's kiss. Like it's amazing. It's all it is really just an avocado. You add some chickpeas, tahini, water, a bunch of spices, and that's really it. It comes together in like 5 minutes, and then it's amazing with veggies, crackers, like really anything, especially bread. If you like toast up some bread, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
I love that actually that it turned, so green from the avocado too. It'd be a great appetizer for Christmas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I made it for the past like past few years in a row that we were able to get together, and like every 5 minutes someone's like, let me just go like get a scoop. It's gone in 10 minutes. So
I bet the texture is great too, because you have like that creaminess from the tahini and chickpeas, and then you also add avocado. So it's probably just irresistible.
yeah.
And what were some of the
muted.
names I saw in the intro? You were like avocadomus, or what
Yeah.
were you?
I was trying to do like a combination of the two
Sure.
words, like
Yeah.
of a hummus or like humamoli. Like I wasn't sure. I'm just like, you know what?
Guacamole, I like that.
I was like, I'm not really sure, but like we'll just go with it.
I know you have to try and names, or like what should we call this? It's just so interesting to.
Yeah. I mean, I stuck with avocado hummus, but I was like, I don't know, like avocado, like guacamole, chickpea guacamole. Like I was like, I'm not sure. Sounds really weird. But
I wanna play your reel really quick. I don't think I can mute it. So I didn't want to play it over people, but I want to
okay.
see what this looks
Okay.
like. That looks so easy.
Yeah.
does, yeah.
Yeah. You just throw everything in a food processor and it's done. So
My kind of recipe. It's like washing the food processor takes longer than the recipe
Yeah.
itself.
Right.
exactly.
I bet, Lisa, do you think this would work if I tried to make it Whole30 by making like a cauliflower rice hummus and mixing it with the avocado? I bet you it would.
I think so. Honestly, I think it would.
You really
Yeah.
creamy. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is that it doesn't really last very long. So the only way that it could, because obviously it'll look like it's because the avocado will turn it brown
Yeah.
type of thing. But the best trick to do is if I ever have extras, I'll always just keep the pit and then put it in the
In it,
container
right.
when I store
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
So
Penny, you could also try to use dried split peas in place of the chickpeas. Those are Whole30.
Oh, Dee, good point.
Good idea.
Great idea.
And maybe adding like a little squeeze of lemon juice would help keep that avocado from browning, I wonder.
Right. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
looks so good.
I add the lemon, but it still kind of turns brown. So
I'm
But,
going
you
to guacamole, Lisa. Love that.
I'm gonna have to change the recipe
Love
name.
that.
Yeah, even that name has a mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Guacamole.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
funny.
The SEO gods won't know what that is. But
No.
Yeah, that was my only
I
problem.
know,
naming
and
it.
it's silly we have to think about that, but you know.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, if you give it too unique of a name, then
Right.
it's impossible to find.
Yeah.
True.
This is such a fun menu. And I love that it's similar to ours in that like none of these are super time consuming. And so you could just combine the menus and host a smashing New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's why I was thinking originally with the charcuterie board because, well, I have to say for the past 8 years since my niece and nephew are up here, our New Year's Eve consists of my counter here, which is about 5 or 6 feet long, is just from one end to the other, and the bar counter is filled with charcuterie. And that's all we do. We don't eat dinner. We just do charcuterie all night and play games. And, you know, none of us drink. So we're the same way. The alcohol in the house is just for guests. But yeah, so I love all these ideas and, you know, new ideas for New Year's Eve. It's just great.
Mhm.
Very
And we never tend to think about food for New Year's Eve, right? I think Vic, you were saying that is we're always thinking about food
Right.
for Christmas and Thanksgiving and
Yeah.
everything, but New Year's Eve comes around and we're like, what
Yeah,
are we
like what are we doing?
Yeah. So it's fun to have like menus for that so you can actually help plan.
Yeah.
And Penny,
Great.
the cheese log thing that you did, you could easily, if you have a big enough board, that could be like the centerpiece, and then you could
Mhm.
just have things
Yeah.
around, you know.
Yep. Yep. And it could also be made into a ball if you don't want to make
Yep.
it into a log. It could easily be made into a cheese ball. It's easy to work with. I just rolled it in the parchment and it was super easy.
Yeah.
Nope, that's the key. Easy, less stress, but you know, everybody's somehow impressed. That's like, yes, I did this. We were just like, yeah, we made it.
Getting like mini bagels and
Mm.
toasting them and
Oh.
spreading that on them would be
Yeah.
like very meta of that, right? Like
Yep. Yep.
lox and cream cheese, that would be so good.
Yep.
Or if you wanted to be really trendy, you could make a butterboard out of it.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a really good idea. Yep. Just a good schmear, right, Bill?
Yeah, that's right. Ooh.
Well,
Now,
thank
does
you all so
anyone?
much.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, does anyone make it till midnight on New Year's Eve?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Usually.
actually, yeah, I
I'm
don't know.
100% never.
I
you
make
read
it to
some-
midnight every night. I'm a late sleeper. So
Well, we have like the midnight buffet. Like nobody has that. Just me?
Oh, yeah, the food
Okay,
never
never
stops.
mind.
It just keeps on coming.
Yeah, we make it to midnight, and this year we're hoping to put the baby down for a nap, my niece's baby, and wake her up around midnight and give her the pots and pans.
Oh, God.
She's only she'll be 18 months in a couple days.
Oh,
That'll be fun.
I'm not brave enough to introduce disrupt in our kids' schedules. They disrupt their own schedules enough. It's like, well, if they're up, they're up. If they're not, they're not. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just a sucker for that, like experiencing the turning of the year, like getting to experience that in real time. There's just something special about that moment for me.
Yep.
But if you're on, well, you could do it too, Pooja. If you're not on East Coast, you can stream the East Coast ball dropping and then you make it and watch it, but it's not midnight.
Oh my.
You could just do it for like the other side of the world, even celebrate in the
Yeah.
afternoon and then you're done.
It's funny.
Well, thank you all so much for this. This was really fun to put together, and to hear the inspiration behind people's meals and their recipes is really special, especially hearing about family memories and family history and how it informs the food that you've created. There's just something so special about it, and it always makes me feel closer to everyone here to learn about that. And I have a long list of dishes that I want to make now. And I hope you all just have a beautiful holiday and New Year's, and this is just such a great way to kick all of it off.
Thank you. You guys too. It was fun.
Always
That
lovely.
was really cool. And if anyone remakes the recipes, tag. Send it our way.
Yes.
Of course. Leave a review.
All right.